Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast. We want to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And this week, I have to welcome Brennan Johnson to the JK Penitentiary. Wales versus Poland. Jakub Kiwior locked him up, and Poland went through. So yeah, and obviously there were no fixtures this weekend, but we do have a special episode.
Yes.
Hopefully it should be. Look, we're a podcast for the people, and the people requested that me and Michael have some more arguments, maybe get a bit more heated. So that might come today. And basically, me and Michael have known each other for a long time. We've had a lot of football debates, some of which we've just settled with and agreed to disagree. Some of which we've tried to reach a conclusion. Some of which change year on year. But Nick did ask that we have more arguments on the show, and this might start that. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to read out a statement that I personally believe. I've tried to pick ones that I know Michael doesn't believe, but obviously if he does, then obviously we can just agree on that, maybe talk about it for a bit and move on. And Michael's done the same. He's got some statements that obviously he believes, and yeah, yes. we'll have some interesting conversations. So I'll go first. And my first one is Mesut Ozil is the best Arsenal player of the Emirates era.
What are we saying, or what are we describing as best player? Like
talent, quality on the pitch, what they achieved, or all of it. Mesut Ozil is the best Arsenal player. That includes Cesc Fabregas, that includes Robin Van Persie, that includes Samir Nasri,
no.
Santi Cazorla, Alexis Sanchez.
No.
Mesut Ozil is the best Arsenal player.
I disagree with that statement. But I will say maybe I think Mesut Ozil was probably the best magician in terms of ability to deliver a moment of magic we've seen in the Emirates era. But I don't think he is the best player.
Who is the best player
in the Emirates era? I always have Cesc very high, and he didn't do too many seasons at the Emirates.
I knew you would say Cesc.
I have Cesc very high in that list.
1-0.
Yeah, I have RVP very high in that list.
1-0.
And then I have Alexis Sanchez high in that list. I have Alexis Sanchez over Ozil.
Didn't win as much as Ozil.
I have Alexis Sanchez over Ozil in that list for the reason that Ozil, as I said, magician, would do things on the ball, and the biggest credit I'll give Ozil is I did definitely, whilst appreciating him, take him for granted. Because when he left, like, there were simple things that Ozil would do, like get the ball moving up the pitch, or like take the ball.
Even when he used to come deep.
Yeah, I was going to say, take the ball with his back to goal from deep, like jinky a guy. And then all of a sudden, Kieran Gibbs is on the overlap, and Monreal is getting off the pitch, and the
whole game changed.
Yeah, things are happening, and like the Stoke had us under the cosh for like 10 minutes. I will just say that I appreciate people like Alexis more, because Alexis, I used to think, used to come out with this like, I just refuse to lose this football match mentality, and not that Ozil wouldn't. It's just that Alexis could press that button and he would chase down every ball. He would pick the ball up from the halfway, like from the center circle, dribble past 3 guys, knock it top bins. Like, he just had that dog mentality that I think I attribute to a better player than somebody like Mesut. Maybe not technically, but in terms of winning you football matches, he refused to be a passenger in those wins, and he or even those draws.
Yeah. But I think Mesut Ozil was equally as important.
It would be both of them.
We saw what happened to Alexis at Man United when there was no Mesut Ozil.
Yeah, but when Ozil left Arsenal, like, that was
the end of his career.
Yeah, he went to
Alexis Sanchez went to Man United as the best player in the Premier League.
No, it's true, and he bottled. Well, it's a 50-50 between him and the club. But I saw that Ozil turned 35 the other day. Ozil should still be playing football. 35.
Well, look, when we spoke about,
and he's been retired for like 2 or 3 years.
we said, "Yo, enjoy your time off, man.
Nah,
It's okay to retire now." So we can't be doing this with Mesut
I never.
Ozil.
I think Hazard should still be, but Hazard is different. Hazard's won a lot of things. I'm not gonna lie. Not to say that Ozil hasn't won a lot of things.
Look, I think for what says Fabregas, right? He won. Well, he was part of the Invincible squad. I don't really know how much he played, right?
No, he was there. He was there.
Well, maybe, but it was more after Patrick Vieira left that Cesc came in, and during the time at the Emirates, Cesc didn't win a trophy.
Yeah,
Left to go to Barcelona to win trophies. Robin Van Persie didn't win a trophy at Arsenal. Left to Man United to go and win trophies. Samir Nasri left to Man City to go and win trophies. Mesut Ozil came to Arsenal on the back of an 8-year trophy drought, and his first season at Arsenal, he won a trophy.
but does this
he
mean
broke that drought?
Does this
without
mean,
Alexis Sanchez?
But like this might add to Ozil's legacy as like an Arsenal sort of man. But does this actually mean that he's a better footballer?
The better footballer one
guys.
is an easier point to argue
than these guys. I actually don't.
Mesut Ozil is the most talented player I've seen at the in this Emirates era.
I think Cesc was pretty talented. I think Santi Cazorla was pretty talented.
There's things I've seen Mesut Ozil do at the Emirates that
as I said,
you know what, Santi Cazorla is one that I'm willing to like.
Santi was as Ozil could produce more moments of magic, but I can't put Ozil above the Alexis Sanchez's and the Cesc just because he stayed longer and
and won
more.
Won 4 FA Cups at Arsenal.
Mesut was a great player, no doubt, absolutely no doubt about that.
That season we were challenging with Leicester. Mesut did his thing.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We weren't challenged, and that's the thing. Look,
is that record he still hold? No. Thierry has the record, but
yeah,
did he get 19 or something?
Yeah. No, we.
I don't know if we've seen KDB put those numbers up. Just saying.
No, I think I just can't have Ozil. I don't even know if Ozil, and I really rate him, but I don't even know if he cracks my top 5. I gotta be honest with
He's
you.
easily in the top.
Because I've got.
Unless you're putting Bakary Sagna in there.
Don't sleep on Bakary, by the way.
I'm not. I rate.
Okay,
Bakary
no,
Sagna,
I've boyed it. Ozil, he makes my top 5, but I don't know. There is just something about Ozil that, as much as I love and appreciate everything he did for the football club,
there were those Newcastle away back injury.
Yeah, there was just certain
Stoke away. Arsene Wenger's giving him a holiday to Turkey, but look, man, in terms of just
he was a magician straight up.
The dog thing with Alexis, 100%. That's right. Yeah, but there's. I look at Martinelli and I see Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at anyone.
Odegaard.
No.
I think Odegaard is.
I don't see it yet.
I think Odegaard is Ozil.
I think
Odegaard is Ozil who presses and contests for headers.
No.
I literally think he's Ozil who presses and contests for headers.
Martin Odegaard.
Odegaard is waiting on a Ludogorets away moment.
He doesn't do
to be Ozil.
What Mesut Ozil did. The way Mesut Ozil unlocked a defense or a low block is unlike anything I've seen.
I would say
it's truly world class.
I would say, look, if Mesut Ozil,
Martin Odegaard world class.
I think Martin Odegaard is absolutely on the fringe of world class.
Okay, but Mesut Ozil, undeniably,
because Mesut Ozil came to Arsenal at 24, 25. I think if he was to give Mesut Ozil and Martin Odegaard 5 passes to unlock a defense, 4 times out of 5, Ozil unlocks the defense. Odegaard is probably a 2-3 out of, and I'm talking about like you're asking them to play the hardest through the eye of a needle. Got to take out 3 or 4 players from the game, and you have a split second to make that decision. Ozil 4 out of 5 times, whichever way the guy's running, however it needs to be played, he makes that pass. Yeah. Odegaard's probably 2 to 3 out of times, but I think by the time Odegaard gets to 25, 26, he's gonna have that frequency. Because
potentially,
Ozil's done things. Ozil's done things.
But what I'm saying is that I look at Martinelli and I can already see the Alexis.
I can see elements of Alexis. And Martinelli, I thought he was when he scored 15 goals last year. And it's not that I'm not saying Martinelli's had a bad season, but Alexis, like again, it's just a maturity thing. Alexis came at the right time. He was more mature. He wouldn't let himself. Yeah. He wouldn't let himself come to this stage of the season.
But isn't that so Alexis to be like, if Alexis was going to get 8 league goals, 2 of them would be winners against the title rivals?
No, they would all be winners.
Yeah.
No, but look, and I agree with you. But the same way you see elements of Alexis in Martinelli, the same way I see elements of Odegaard. You know, like they both left footers, both in the pocket, so secure. It's always a foul. Whenever they take the first touch, whatever happens, it's gonna be a foul. Because you know, and then again, there's element. Ozil never contested a header in 7 years at Arsenal Football Club.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that Martin Odegaard's really doing that.
Contesting headers. He'll at least stick out a leg for a second ball.
He'll jump.
Yeah, exactly. He'll fake jump at the very least. Yeah. And I think we can actually have, like you spoke about the assist numbers. Odegaard,
the goal scoring.
Odegaard has the goal scoring element, and I think Odegaard. There could be a season where Odegaard breaks out, maybe not gets 20 assists, but breaks out and has a clear
There could be
like a 15 and 15.
Martin Odegaard most likely will never ever play in a team as poor as the one that Mesut.
Yeah. Ozil and Sanchez were holding us up.
So so are you putting forward Sanchez then over RVP, over Cess as the best Arsenal player in that Emirates era? Or do you think all 3 of them are better than Mesut?
I think if I had to single out one, I would go for RVP. Yeah, and then Cess.
That's purely just on
Sanchez,
not what he did at Arsenal, but just kind of his ability, because he didn't win anything.
He didn't win any, but. I'm also thinking more so like I'm normally the trophy first sort of argument guy, but I'm also just thinking, yes, Ozil was world class, and yes, Ozil got into like 80-90% of the teams that were playing in the Premier League at the time. But if I really, really think about it, when I think about the best player that Arsenal were having, like everybody, RVP would have gotten into every team.
I think Mesut would have.
I think we would have had to have made the case for Mesut for some teams.
I mean,
RVP
whose team wouldn't he have gone into?
RVP was one of those players that everybody feared.
Yeah. In
the league, every club feared him. Rival fans, there was that level of but if RVP's on it, that
day,
it's the same. But the thing is,
people knew, especially the RVP thing. I give him more away from home.
No. Don't do that. Don't say
anyone coming to the Emirates.
Don't do that.
They knew if Mesut Ozil's on it today, it's long.
Mesut Ozil was a problem, but I don't think Mesut Ozil put that fear factor into people. I got to be honest with you. He was always quality on the ball, but I think teams knew that if we played tough with him and if we got the better of the Arsenal team, that he could sort of fade away and they wouldn't have to worry about him. Because Mesut Ozil wasn't the guy when the going got tough. Yeah.
What, at the Emirates?
But that's what come on.
That's what I'm saying. RVP can.
No, come on. I just think that home or away, teams were like, whatever happens, don't let RVP
takes the game scruffer than that.
Whatever happens, don't let. And I think the same thing with Cess. I think the same thing with Alexis Sanchez, and I think that is why another reason why I put them ahead of Ozil is because other teams legit had that fear factor of these 3 names that I mentioned ahead of Ozil, in the sense of, if he's on it today, he's turning up. How do we lock this guy down? How do we get him less involved? And I think Ozil was one of those ones where it was like, if he's on it today, there's nothing we can do. But he might not be on it today, so we might not have to worry about that. RVP, all these other guys, says they were on it.
But look, I mean, Mesut Ozil was the one guy that out of them lot that was turned up in those semi-finals and finals.
No, don't say that. Sanchez got the...
Yeah, Sanchez played
got
his
the Aston
part.
Villa.
He played his part. Mesut Ozil feeding him.
No.
But look, we'll move on. Have you got one?
I've got one off the top of my head.
Yeah, go on.
I think that William Saliba is a more easily replaceable piece than Martin Odegaard in the current Arsenal setup?
Ooh.
For real?
I'm trying to work out if I agree with that or not. By the way, let us know in the comments if you agree with what we're saying or if you disagree and what your thoughts are. But I can see what you're trying to do. I can see what you're trying to do. But I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
You think there's another Martin out there that you can just go and grab?
I don't think there's another William Saliba. And this is a good one because for a couple episodes now, I've been wanting to give Saliba some praise because I feel like whenever I come on this episode, I'm always bringing up Gabriel and low key shitting on Saliba a bit. But I'm not like shitting. Saliba is top.
He is,
and I've been wanting to give him his praise recently. In our centre back pairing, yeah, I know I've said Gabriel's been the best centre back in the league and whatever, but when you look at it long term, and that Saliba is the A side. I think it's we're comfortable kind of knowing that.
Yeah.
Right, like
the potential is crazy.
Yeah, the reason why so at first I thought you were gonna say William Saliba is more easily replaceable than Gabriel.
Yeah, that's.
But even that, the thing about William Saliba is his ball playing ability. When Saliba's looking at Saka and I saw this against Porto, and the whole Porto team shifts to block that pass.
Yeah,
and then he's still looking that way and he passes to
Fizz.
Odegaard. Gabriel will never do that.
Gabriel's got that in his locker.
I don't know if the no look.
Gabriel's that.
I'm always raving Gabriel.
Yeah.
I don't know about the no look.
Gabriel signals like he wants to play long. Like he'll tell guys and get down the line. And then he'll play
the nice
yeah, and then
That's different.
That's
different. William Saliba's looking the whole team, and then he's played that one in there. That's a Martin Odegaard or Jorginho. That's that level of pass.
I agree that Saliba does it to a consistency,
and I think to find that, and you got to remember, last year was William Saliba's first season in the Premier League.
I was the one saying that Saliba wasn't going to be our savior before the beginning of last season. I was saying that I don't know why fans are putting so much stock into Saliba as if he's going to save us. He's some 20-year-old guy who's never played a ball, like he's never kicked a Premier League football. He actually ended up being magnificent. But I say that to say, I still think he is a more easily replaceable piece. Like I think, for example, if we immediately lost Saliba, that Tomiyasu or Ben White should be able would go out of a 10-10 defense to like maybe an 8. Yeah, instead of conceding,
which could cost you the title.
It could. Instead of conceding 0 to 1 goal a game, we might concede 1 or 2 goals a game. Yeah. However, I don't think that in our current squad or even potentially in the market, to go and do what Odegaard is doing in the system, even for example in the times when Arteta was asking him to drop deep and do this little sort of 6-8 thing, that there is another person who can so intrinsically understand and have the quality to execute in this number 10. Because not a lot of teams don't even play with a number 10.
Yeah.
So
where I think, and this is where it was difficult for me to kind of give a judgment on this statement, was that there's a real lack of number 10s in football right now.
And look, for example, we love Smith Rowe. You've said that you thought at times Smith Rowe had a higher ceiling than Saka, Martinelli, X, Y, and Z. But we know.
I'm still somewhat holding on to that.
We know that if Odegaard was to go down, and as I said, if Tomiyasu was to come in, we could drop out from to an 8. But if Odegaard was to go down, things have to change drastically in that system. Like Smith Rowe is not.
Yeah, Smith Rowe maybe not.
Is not.
But Kai Havertz.
Don't do that.
Kai Havertz comes in. He plays that right-sided 8, link up with Bukayo Saka. We saw it a bit earlier.
If Kai Havertz comes in,
Gabriel Jesus up top.
Even if Kai was to do it, they're asking Kai just to be a second striker. They're asking him to. He won't do the Odegaard job. He'll just do the He'll just do the Sky second striker job from a 10 position.
Yeah.
Like there is a huge gap, I think.
Fabio Vieira.
even
the
Fabio,
GA guy.
even Fabio, who would be the closest like for like, yeah, who could even still potentially do the 6'8" thing. We've just not seen enough of it. We don't really know what's going on. I just think Odegaard is a real one of one, and not to say that Saliba isn't a one of one, because there aren't many Salibas
I
out
think
there.
Saliba's definitely one on one.
But I just think that with a foundational piece as strong as Gabriel, you can raise the bar. You can get another defender to just do a meaty job.
But it's Declan Rice. Just get another midfielder
No,
to do
no. Because the job you're asking him to do, you're asking him to do the Ozil job. Create something out of nothing. Lockdown defense.
Trossard in there.
No. Even Trossard, who's a baller, doesn't have the. All right, I got to do the Porto thing and split 3 guys and play a pinpoint pass. Like I can ask another centre.
I don't know how many players in world football do what Martin Odegaard does for that Porto.
I can ask another centre back. You'll run the channels, be quick on your feet, like be aggressive. The ball playing ability of Saliba.
Take Haaland 1v1 in a straight race.
But Otavio might be able to do that.
Otavio, hi.
Look, what's his name? Ricky Van der Ven has come in and done things.
Ricky Van der Ven's top.
You see what I'm saying? But there is.
He's not Saliba. He's nowhere near Saliba.
We're yet to see, and I don't even think Maddison and Odegaard are on the same level. I don't think Mickey Van der Ven and Saliba are on the same level. Don't get me twisted. But I think that players have come in from the centre back position and been able to like not boss it, but come in and do a good job.
Yeah.
Whereas
I think part of that's down to Mikel's defensive structure as well. Like Mikel sets his teams up very well. So if Saliba needs to come out and someone has to come in, as long as it's not Rob Holding.
Yeah, you can do your thing.
Because last year, who would we have rather lost in that run-in? Saliba or Odegaard? I think it's definitely Odegaard.
Yeah.
But
this year I might say Saliba. I don't know about that. Yeah.
But a point that does help, I think, is also Martin Odegaard's the captain of this team. Yeah. And especially this season, he's been playing and performing like a captain. He sets the example. He does all of that. So in that sense, it's not easy to just find another captain. But I think William Saliba is one of those guys that comes along every 10 years. And if you have him at your club,
that's Christy,
then you could build something really special.
Yeah.
I think like Yap Stam, Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, Virgil van Dijk, John Terry, like your club might get one of those players once every 10 years.
No, yeah, I agree with that. And he's so young and he's so good. Yeah. But I still think that it would be, I'd like to get another Martin, to get another Saliba. I think you would have to spend 50 to 80 million.
I don't know if there is another Saliba.
Like, I think you'd have to spend another. I think you could find another
competent centre back,
20-year-old centre back who has the raw potential to be a great defender. Whereas Saliba has actually actualized a lot of his potential, which is very rare. Whereas for Martin Odegaard, I think the chances of them actualizing the potential are even slimmer.
Yeah, especially coming to the Premier League.
Like, there's people out there who like João Felix, who I would say is like an Odegaard equivalent in other leagues, who we know is a generational sort of player, talent, baller, tech out the wind. You know, he's got all of it, but hasn't found a team or a system to best suit his attributes for him to even stay in the team for 90 minutes week in, week out. Yeah, like as we said, the 10 is phasing out of the game. I think it's super, super tough. Like, to find that guy who can come in and do that job for you. I think there's even less of them that are able to actualize their talent than people like Saliba at the back. I feel like it's a little bit, not easier, it's only marginally easier to coach a defender to be world class, but to coach a number 10 to be world class.
There's an element of it just being natural.
There's less of them.
Like. And also, like I said, man, there's a real lack of quality number 10s. Like you said, it's a dying position almost.
You got McAllister with the 10 minutes back playing.
So you know what? I'm not mad at that. I do disagree because like if William Saliba wasn't tied down to this contract and Martin Odegaard wasn't tied down to a contract,
I would
be like, yo, send all of those wages
to
William Saliba and get him signed up in this team.
Because you would like to think with Saliba and Gabriel, you should win a title in the next.
You know, they always say in attack wins you games, defense wins you titles, right?
Yeah.
If you can lock Saliba, Gabriel, that down.
Yeah.
But I hear it. But look, I've got one, and look, it's been a while, and I've mentioned this guy briefly a couple of times on this podcast. We've spoken about it. Everyone who knows me probably knew that this was going to come up at some point in this episode. Harry Kane has never been world class.
No, okay, I disagree with that.
He has never, ever shown attributes of what a seriously world-class striker does.
No, I disagree with that.
Turns up in the biggest of big games and wins your team something, a trophy, gives your club a special moment. If you are truly world-class, because I'll challenge you and anyone listening to this in the comments to name one player who was ever world-class in their career that finished with 0 trophies, that won fuck all at the end of it.
So I will say that Harry Kane might not end his career world class. However, I think it is disrespectful because he did consistently get 20, 20, 25, 25, 30.
For a team finishing 7th.
And I think that in its sense is a testament to his world-class ability, because I agree with you, in the biggest moments he bottles it. He doesn't have that winner DNA.
And that's what people won't call Bukayo Saka world-class because they're waiting for him to do it on the biggest
That's just
stage,
the Ferdinand brothers.
in the biggest moments.
Like,
but those Ferdinand brothers will call Harry Kane world-class.
No, they will. And look, it's look, they will say the reason Harry Kane is world-class because he's done it over seasons and and to a certain extent they're right. Like, I'm not here to sort of sing Harry Kane's praises. I agree. He's not a winner. He's not a guy that was destined to win the top stuff in footballing, you know, sort of lexicon. Is
that not what a world-class player?
And in many respects, that is what a world-class player does. But in many respects, I think you can be a world-class player and
never win anything
and not be. Yeah, I think they don't actually have to be. I think they can be mutually exclusive. It's very, very, very rare because how many world-class players play for Tottenham? But that's the reality. You could be a world-class player who plays for Tottenham
Gareth
and
Bale,
end up winning. And they moved on and had to win trophies elsewhere, and then realized the world-class sort of stature. And look, Kane's not done it yet, but
Harry Kane doesn't have the mentality of a world-class player. That I'm gonna go. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that he's gone to a team that's won the league 10 years in a row, and it's looking very sticky.
But I think if you only want to judge Harry Kane or world class through the lens of if you're world class, you should have X many trophies.
Even if he had a Carabao Cup,
I'd
be like, look, Harry Kane, your goals in this season meant that you won a trophy.
No, Harry Kane,
I can give you that.
His legacy is fucked. His legacy is tapped.
What Harry Kane's? What's he got? 200 and something goals in the Premier League. Yeah?
But that's crazy.
What does any of that mean?
But that's crazy. But that's what I'm saying. That's a whole different.
Any of those goals mean anything?
I think legacy and world class ability are two different things. And I think Harry Kane has a world class ability as a footballer, but his legacy is terrible. I think that's a fair argument.
He
has the worst legacy for any player who could ever have been considered world class.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
100%. But to have 260, like if he had stayed, they were telling him that he could chase down Alan Shearer. To play for a 7th, 8th place team and chase down Alan Shearer is crazy. He's one of those guys we spoke about earlier in the pod of like, I had an agenda against Harry Kane for a minute. And then there's like, after the 5th season of 25 goals, you're like, all right, man, maybe
he got another 30 piece last year.
Yeah. Like, he's a weird one because I agree. Like, his name should always come up with a caveat of he hasn't won anything. And the goals, what have they actually meant?
Yeah.
But I think what they do mean
has he turned up in semi-finals, finals?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. That unequivocally he hasn't. But he is a world class. He does have world class ability. And like
would you say Jamie Vardy at any point in the Premier League era was a better striker than Harry Kane? Bear in mind the season Leicester won the league, Harry Kane got 25 plus. The season after he got 30.
Yes, because there was a period when Vardy was on fire.
Yeah,
like when he was scoring 12 games in a row, 13 games in a row, whatever. That goal versus Liverpool, where it was like.
So there was a time when someone could have said to you, Arsenal can sign one striker, Harry Kane or Jamie Vardy, and you would have said, let's get Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, especially the season after he won the title, and he's shown, as I said, Jamie Vardy. The difference between Jamie Vardy and Harry Kane is Jamie Vardy has shown that he has the ability to make sure his goals mean something.
Yeah,
and Harry Kane doesn't have that ability,
and that's why I brought up Jamie Vardy for the specific reason of I will never ever hear anyone out, Tottenham fan, non-Tottenham fan, who tries to sell me that Harry Kane didn't win a trophy at Tottenham because of the team he was playing.
Yeah, it's not
Jamie Vardy won Premier League and FA Cup playing in a Leicester team that was probably never. I know they won the title and they were brilliant that season, but in a team that for the most part was never as good as the Tottenham teams that Harry Kane played in. But Jamie Vardy got it done.
But what? So look, I agree with
Jamie Vardy scored like you just said. Jamie Vardy scored 24 league goals, whatever it was, to win his team the title.
No, I agree with that. But I think I agree with that 100%. That I just think that the thing is, I can't overlook the work that Harry Kane has actually done in the league, despite winning nothing. And I think there is something to be said for that. I think I can't say that
he's football's greatest loser.
I think he is football's greatest. Yeah. Beside Klopp, I think he's right there. Like he definitely
he's a bigger loser than Klopp.
The thing is, the reason I agree with your point is because Harry Kane has got to finals and lost them. He's got to semi-finals and lost them. And it's like, maybe if Vardy was in those finals, he would have done the things, scored the penalties, done whatever.
We saw what Aubameyang was doing in semi-finals and finals.
But I do just think though to say that he's never world class is a stretch, because he will end up winning or not winning, doing things in the Barclays Premier League that we've just not seen from Gaston's Thierry's time, of the consistent 20 goals, 18, Aguero. 25. Even so, Aguero won a lot of things, but even and Kane might have more golden boots than Aguero. Probably does.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Which is crazy, because I have Aguero in like my top 3
of all. Hat-tricks against Norwich. And...
Somebody's got to score them.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to score them.
Mason Mount did the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, that's just my opinion. I think if you're truly world class, you need to perform on them. That's why I'm not here saying in the whole Saka and Foden debate, we didn't even really have that debate. But I'm not here saying Saka is world class or telling anyone that they should be saying Saka is world class. Like, I remember at the start of last season, one of my friends asked me if Arsenal have any world class players, and I said they probably have one. And that was at the start of last season, and that was Thomas Partey.
Yeah,
because Thomas Partey was on the season before, and what he's did, that was world class TP5. But I mean, look, world class is a difficult title to have. Not everyone has it.
Yeah.
So go on, you go
on. I do just have one, and it has just skipped my mind. I think that Bakary Sagna would get in this team ahead of Ben White.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I think people sleep on Big Bakary.
So, you know, I was going to write one about Bakary Sagna, and I was going to say, in all-time Premier League history, Bakary Sagna might be the second best right back. But to use him against Ben White like that...
This is, look, as I said, I knew you would have something to say.
Look, Bakary Sagna's end product is up there with Trent.
Yeah, this is so slept on.
The way Bakary Sagna used to whip a ball in was crazy. Like,
do you know the Bakary, like, whoever it is, Flamini, whoever it is, has laid it off out wide, and he just comes onto it first time.
Yeah, everyone's flooding the box.
Yeah,
and that whole Trent, Reece James, whip it round the first one, corridor. That was Bakary Sagna.
Yeah, we know
before it was cool.
First, no touch.
Yeah,
first time.
Yeah,
Sixpence.
So in terms of that end product and that ball, Ben White's never going to chat to Bakary Sagna because it's just long. It's long. But in every other aspect, I think Ben White has Bakary Sagna.
So. I think Ben White.
1v1. I
don't know. I think Bakary is a tough.
I think playing a slip ball, a pass.
Yeah. I give
building up the play. Yeah, 1v1 Bakary was yeah.
It was tasty.
But look, I mean, that's one of, especially this season, that's one of Ben White's best attributes.
No, so I would say definitely Ben White would do a better job at playing sort of three positions: centre back, right back, CGM. He would do a better job inverting for sure.
What was your statement? He's a better right back.
That he would play ahead of Ben White
in this team.
There's
no way. There's no way.
Because I think
Mikel.
Yeah, the French connection. First,
what he's asking.
The French connection, first of all, with Saliba Bakary would be out of this world.
Ben White needs to coach Saliba.
And I think that Ben White, Odegaard, and Saka have a dirty triangle going on right now.
Yeah.
Top two toughest triangles in the Premier League. But as you've said, I think that Bakary Sagna on a Saka overlap.
Yeah, crazy. Saka cutting in.
With a slip ball to Bakary.
It'd be Salah and Trent.
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
It's cash. Yeah. It's just GA every time. It's cash money.
But there's certain...
Bakary to Kai, by the way.
Yeah. There's certain ways Ben White facilitates Saka's game.
He's more selfless.
The Bakary wouldn't.
But I think with the 1v1 thing, I think it's really close.
It is close.
I think it's really close. And I think another thing that Bakary has is that real acrobatic goal line clearance. How did you get your foot on it? Type of thing.
Bakary, he used to score some big goals as well.
Big goals. Consistent like Ben White is. Be there every week. Win, draw, lose. He was just there, play football. You know, I think it's tough. I'm not saying that it's like...
Bakary could drop a 3 or 4.
He could. It
could be an absolute stinker where it's just ISO or Bakary for 90 minutes.
No, he could. But I think, as I said, I think the real elements that stick out for him is the strong 1v1 defending, the overlapping, the ability to put balls on the box. I think he could take Saka's game up a bit. Not to say that Ben White can't, and I'm not saying that it's a landslide or he beats Ben White has to shoot bench. But I just think that Arteta could also do some really dirty things with Bakary Sagna,
especially because we like really, for some reason, are quite anti-overlaps.
Yeah,
that like if we did have that option of Bakary, and the same point I made about Mesut Ozil, I'll make here again is that Ben White will probably never play in a team or a defense at least as bad as the team.
If Bakary had, that's what I'm saying. If Bakary had Saliba next to him,
Johan Juru.
If Bakary Sagna had Saliba next to him and didn't have to actually do 3 or 4 people's jobs, and he could just be that marauding right back, up and down, and down,
Trent.
up and like exactly. He would get in the Trent position and pick the ball up off Declan Rice, and whip it differently into the box, and all chaos would ensue. But look, this is no disrespect to Benny Blanco. You've done your thing. We're not unhappy with your performance.
I don't think he would start over Ben White in this team because if Bakary Sagna is in this team, there's no place for Zinchenko.
Yeah, there's no. Tomiyasu has to play on that other flank.
Zinchenko does not play.
Yeah, he's done.
Rarely.
I'd actually take Bakary Sagna over them.
But I think Mikel would like the solidity provided from Ben White and kind of. I actually think Ben White's got probably a higher football IQ.
He does.
I think Bakary Sagna was very. I'm a fullback, up and down, balls in the box,
true.
1v. I think Ben White's probably maybe because of Mikel as well.
It's true. But I do think that a Bakary Sagna, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu back four,
Yeah.
it gives you a 0.01.
Yo, Bakary Sagna, in that defense here, he would be in my FPL for 38 games.
It's cash money.
Yeah.
It's cash money because he either gets a clean sheet or an assist in every game.
Yeah, every game. It'd be like Trippier last season.
Yeah.
No, you know, that's a good one. But I'm going to back my guy, Ben White. I think Ben White would. And look, man, we've seen more end product from Ben White.
It's true. Ben White has got assists this season. He might finish.
Bro, when I say Bakary was on that Trent level, like, he was there.
For Bentner.
Yeah.
For
Chamak.
All
of them.
Laying it on a sixpence.
But I'm looking through here. Which one should I use? All right, I'll go for this one. Riyad Mahrez is the best African player to ever play in the Premier League.
Nah. And what are you saying in terms of what he achieved in the Premier League, or just African player to ever play in the Premier League? Because either way, it's still no for me.
Potentially both.
No. We've had some great African. Like Eto's played here. Eto's nuts.
Yeah.
He's won it all. Toure, again. Crazy. Didier.
Did Eto win AFCON? I think he did.
I think he did.
Because Riyad Mahrez won AFCON.
No, the Riyad Mahrez AFCON is very slept on.
That Riyad Mahrez
very
AFCON
slept on.
is big time.
I think it was like
big time
2019
for Algeria. Scored a free kick in the semi-final.
Yeah.
To come to the final.
Yeah, it was
turned up in those games.
Because Algeria won it, people didn't care.
Yeah.
But it was
Riyad. That's Riyad Mahrez's AFCON.
Is huge.
That's the thing they're asking Salah to do.
Mane though, I can't tell you that Riyad Mahrez's legacy is better than Mane's.
Is.
I don't know.
Riyad Mahrez won the league at Leicester, and that is going to be
true.
My major point for Riyad Mahrez. Yeah. Forget the fact that he's a treble winner.
It's true.
Yeah. For whatever you want to say about what part Riyad Mahrez played in that team, Riyad Mahrez is a treble winner.
It's true.
I think Riyad Mahrez has 5 Premier Leagues. 5 or 6 Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
But the one I'm going to harp on about is the Leicester one.
I agree with that. But
how many? Forget African players for a second. How many Premier League wingers can win the Premier League in that Leicester team?
No, he was cold, and he came out.
I don't even think Eden Hazard could do that.
And I was gonna say a point that the thing about Mane is that no one expected it, but I guess no one really expected that of Mahrez either.
Yeah,
but I think Mane's legacy is also solid. Like,
yeah, he got his AFCON.
He's got his AFCON. He's got his Prem. He's got his Champions League. He also as well was in those conversations of, is he actually better than Salah? And there was a legit argument to be made about who was who's a more important person to that Liverpool team. But if you're asking me who I think the best African player is to ever play in the Premier League, it'll be Samuel Eto'o. And not because the Premier League saw the best of Samuel Eto'o. I just think Samuel Eto'o is the best African player and ended up playing in the Premier League.
Yeah, so you know what? When you asked that first question,
in terms of what they've done,
potentially both. But I will say mainly because obviously Eto'o was especially at Barcelona.
He also won a treble at Inter Milan.
Yeah, but I'm saying my statement is best African player to play in the Premier League, because what they've achieved.
Yeah, then
what they've done.
No, then I would agree with.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up Didier.
No, I think Didier. The thing about Didier is his influence is maybe beyond the best. I don't know. Like Didier might never win the best African player award, but in terms of cultural impact, I never really supported Chelsea. I actually quite hated Chelsea, but I never hated Didier Drogba.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I did.
Yeah,
that guy used to dunk on us.
Even when he was dunking on us, I didn't like it, but I can't say that I would hate Didier Drogba. You know. So I think Didier will, in many essence, always have the streets.
Yeah.
But there are guys that have done even Toure. There's guys that Kolo Toure. Like I said, Kolo, Yaya. As I said, Eto'o, Mane. Let me think of anybody else that comes to mind SEN.
Yeah.
You know, there were a couple of guys that have really done their things, but I'm not mad at the
Thomas
Morris.
Partey.
I'm not mad at the Morris shout. If I had to choose the best, Evarte, Eto, but if I had to choose the best in their stint in the Premier League, it would be between Toure and Morris for me.
Yeah. I think that Leicester achievement is standalone kind of. Eden Hazard, who I think is one of the best wingers in the Premier League's ever seen. I don't think he could have done that at Leicester. I think there's so many players that couldn't do what Riyad Mahrez did at Leicester. To one PFA Player of the Year, was clearly the best player in that team. When I won the title with them, and then moved on and won everything. He won everything in the game. Basically, he went and won AFCON internationally. There's not really anything you can level at Riyad Mahrez and say he hasn't done this.
That's true.
And of all those players, I think you know this already. If I could pick any of them to just say, I want to watch 90 minutes of Premier League ball, I would pick Riyad Mahrez.
We're not even mentioning Mo Salah. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, he actually might. He does he have an AFCON though? I know Egypt have won it bare times,
he
but
doesn't have an AFCON. He lost to Mane in the final.
yeah.
But even if he had an AFCON, man, like everything you say Mane and Salah have, Mahrez has bears of it.
Okay.
5 Carabao Cups,
FA
Cup.
But that's like how much
Leagues.
now? How much do we start saying City tax? And it's not that
it's
not that Mahrez wasn't influential in all of those FA Cups and Carabao. You know how Mane was.
He scored a hat trick in the semi-final
versus Newport. Mahrez used to.
Don't do that.
Mahrez used to.
Leicester, Etihad.
Yeah.
Similar to the Arsenal game there on the weekend. Riyad Mahrez drops Otamendi with a step over.
But I don't know what it is. There's something about Mahrez that, like, for example, how do I say this? There's a lot of Algerians who will even play for France that seem like even though Mahrez has done all of these things, I'm still so shocked that he chose to play for Algeria. You know, it feels like he's very French, or it feels like he's very much part of the.
Hazard's Algerian in it.
Yeah.
And he chose Belgium.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at it. But
look, Riyad Mahrez is the guy. For any Algerian you speak to, Riyad Mahrez is the hero. Because he won AFCON. He chose to play for
I've actually got a controversial question. I think if it's the start of the summer, and this is a weird one, but if Arsenal had the 100 million to spend that they did, and Mikel Arteta had to make a decision between signing Paul Pogba and signing Declan Rice, he would sign Paul Pogba. Not the Paul Pogba of today.
Mikel Arteta would not.
Not the Paul Pogba of today.
You might.
But the Paul Pogba...
Mikel Arteta...
of 2016.
For everything we know about Mikel Arteta...
Okay, Edu would sign Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba is...
2016 Paul Pogba coming out of Juventus.
You know what I think about Paul Pogba?
2016 Paul Pogba, or 2014 Paul Pogba, whatever it was, coming out of Juventus, and the Declan Rice who just won with West Ham.
So Declan Rice is already between the two of them.
Yeah, so Paul Pogba coming out of Juventus, and Declan Rice has just won that Conference Cup with West Ham, and Arsenal have 100 million to spend. Xhaka's going, yeah, and we need to replace our 6'8".
He's nah.
And we've got to move the club to the next level.
No, because Mikel knows.
Remove the media, because obviously
sign players that know the league. What did we say about Declan Rice?
No, I agree.
Last week,
I agree.
There was no alternative.
But I think that
who's the DM behind Pogba?
TP, TP5
for 4 games.
So obviously TP got injured, yes. But I think on paper,
and then Pogba gets,
because on paper going into the
Pogba
season
was injury prone.
No, but on paper going into the season, it was going to be a TP Rice Odegaard midfield. And if I think of a TP Pogba Odegaard midfield,
that gets ran through a big stadiums away from home.
Maybe so, maybe not. I think that
TP ain't Kante.
I think this is now Arteta can fully do the all right. everybody switched. Like in the NBA, everybody switched.
You know the best position for Paul Pogba to play in this Arsenal team is Martin Odegaard's position.
10.
Yeah.
No.
With
8,
Declan Rice and TP5.
No.
And you let Paul Pogba, you're the free roam.
I kind of hear that third run.
This team is built around you. Like, if you're off it with the press, we've got monsters here.
The late run into the box from Paul Pogba is nasty.
Get in the box, score goals, create goals, break down teams, drop deep and get the ball if you need to. I think
I think a two-man pivot of Pogba and Partey, especially if I'm expecting Arteta to coach Pogba to reach his...
Yeah, but defensively, bro.
Defensively, he was sus. But we've got Partey and we've also got Gabriel and Saliba.
Bro, you're asking a lot of Thomas Partey.
I do every time. Every time he's on the pitch.
Granit helped him out a lot last year.
Yeah, no, Granit did help him out a lot. But I also think that Arteta wouldn't have let Pogba get into the whole, this is my club, I don't need to defend or track back. Or we've seen Pogba put in defensive shifts for France. If there is a carrot big enough, he'll work hard to get it. Yeah. I just think that he's not as defensively good for sure, but Pogba is the 6'8" hybrid. Yeah.
Or is he an 8'10" hybrid?
Either 6'8", 10" hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Arteta strong. He is, like, people say Rice is Vieira regen for many reasons, and they're not wrong for that. But Pogba is the Vieira regen. Yeah. Coming out of Juve with the technical ability.
Yeah,
the technical ability to play 6, the game intelligence to play 6, to play 8, to play 10.
He can't play as a lone 6.
He can't play as a lone.
So TP5 plays 4 games, gets injured. Now you've got J5, Paul Pogba, and Martin Odegaard as your midfield.
I think that is still top.
That's.
I think that is still top.
A struggle. A struggle.
No. I don't think that's a struggle. I also think that obviously Pogba's legacy is tarnished. It's terrible.
You know what we're going to be saying as Arsenal fans? We need to unlock Pogba.
No, I don't think we'll be saying that at all. I don't think we'll be saying that at all.
We'd be saying Declan Rice would be the guy.
Because first of all, Thomas Partey is so much better than Ander Herrera, and Ander Herrera is not a bad player, but so much better than all these guys that United, Bastian Schweinsteiger, all these guys that United slapped Pogba with. Yeah. And I'm saying that Pogba has the physical attributes, he has the football IQ, and he has the technical ability to play in every position in any system that Arteta would cook up and conjure up in that midfield. And I think he's not as good as Declan Rice defensively, but I don't think he's going to be a defensive liability.
Well, he's shown it.
If you play him as a lone 6, he's gonna he'll let a guy run off him. Yeah.
Look, I think if you're having Pogba,
but if they had 100 mil, as good as Declan Rice is, I think you sign Pogba.
I think, look, if you have Pogba and Odegaard in midfield, the guy you need behind them is Declan Rice. Yeah, the guy you need behind them is Declan Rice.
Say that again. If you have an Odegaard and who midfield?
Pogba and Odegaard midfield. The guy you need behind them is Declan Rice. Because as much as
that doesn't fit the hypothetical statement,
is a better 6.
Because Partey was 50M. So where are you getting the other 50M from?
Yeah, but that's why I don't know if I agree with that.
But this is my statement.
I think Declan Rice.
This is my statement.
And Declan Rice can also come in, play the lone 6 for when TP5 inevitably gets injured, and he can play in the 8.
I think if Jorginho would have been around, I think Arteta and Edu might have taken the risk to keep, even if TP5 get injured, to play Jorginho in the 6.
I think Arteta fully knew we need Declan Rice.
No. Arteta fully knew we need Declan Rice, and he wasn't wrong in saying that. But I think that if you had 100 million to spend and it's between that Rice or that Pogba, 9 times out of 10 you smash that Pogba button, because the ceiling and the potential of where you could go as a team with a person with those attributes is next level.
Yeah, but it's also more of a gamble.
Is next level. Of course, but it's up to you as a manager.
Declan Rice,
I don't even think
has proved he's a surefire thing.
I don't even think that Pogba's downfall. Yes, a lot of it is on him, 100%. But I think a lot of it is more so on United and the managers not recognizing that, I need to get, like, it's a huge gamble trying to get it right.
But they always needed someone to unlock Pogba.
But as I said, it's the managers who...
You don't need to sign anyone to unlock Declan Rice.
I think Arteta, like, I don't know about that. Like, I think the reason Declan Rice has gone to a new level is because he's playing in a way better team. And Jorginho and these guys
like, some people would say that Declan Rice is playing how he was playing at West Ham.
No, he's not. Those people are lying to you.
Well, look, this brings me on to my next one. I think this is a brilliant segue because, like I said, this is a podcast for the people. And I put the word out and I said, look, if you think that Michael's had some crazy takes, if you think Michael said some outrageous things that you need me to pull him up on the podcast, this is the episode that we're going to do it. Matt Stedman. There are a couple things that he wanted me to ask.
I can imagine.
But this one, I already had it written down. I knew I was going to say this, but Matt came in and Matt was like, yeah, you got to ask him this. So my statement is Declan Rice has always been a better player than Moises Caicedo.
That's tough. Because Rice has a longer catalogue.
Michael was adamant that Moises Caicedo was the guy.
I think people are forgetting. Caicedo,
over Declan Rice.
Look, let me tell you something. My stocks in Caicedo, they haven't gone anywhere. I know he is stinking.
Well, you didn't put him on your top 10 summer transfers.
I know he's stinking up the gaff. At Chelsea. And week in, week out, we start to wonder, like, who was he really? But the Moises Caicedo from Brighton in that De Zerbi system undoubtedly showed more than Declan Rice at West Ham.
No, never. And part of me thinks that you don't believe this. But my statement is that Declan Rice has always been a better player than Moises Caicedo. I rated Moises Caicedo highly. Put Yves Bissouma left. Brighton are in free fall. And Moises Caicedo comes in and he balls. But Declan Rice was always operating on a level last year with West Ham when I won a European trophy.
I can't lie. I think that European trophy, and I'm happy that Declan Rice got it. But it sports washes so much of that season for West Ham. They were in relegation. They were in a relegation scrap. They were losing game after game after game. And I think that Declan Rice he's always been a better player than I thought he was. But I do undoubtedly want to say that Arsenal and Arteta have enabled him to get to this level where he's being put in Rodri conversations. He was never in Rodri conversations prior to the move.
Well, Mikel Antonio on Filthy.
Yeah, that's Antonio backing his boy. And that is more than fair enough. Whereas it's not that Caicedo.
I think I would have put me and Matt had Declan Rice in those kind of.
And it's not that Caicedo was in Rodri conversations. It's that Caicedo had played before last season. He played
20 games or something.
He played like a handful of games in the Premier League, and last season was really his debut season as a 6, and he was doing it all, and he was showing what he had on the ball. But I will admit that Caicedo is not, his ceiling is not higher than Declan Rice's ceiling. Like, Declan Rice has a higher ceiling than Caicedo for sure, no doubt. But I was very worried for a long time that Rice was going to go down the Henderson route. If Arteta did get his hands on Rice, we'd be looking at another Jack Rodwell, Henderson.
No. Declan Rice had already won a trophy.
John Joe Shelby
of West Ham.
That's what that trophy, and then the Mikel Arteta effect after the fact, and even that game that West Ham won.
A lot of people will say, and look, I think Declan Rice has gotten slightly better than he was at West Ham by playing in a better team, but I don't think his level is that much higher than it was at West Ham.
No, it's come on, it's streets.
I think
Declan
Rice hasn't been
no.
doing this.
Declan Rice was never
the best parts of Declan Rice's game in an Arsenal shirt have still been off the ball.
So, but last season, if I had asked you this time last season, who's the top 5 DMs in the league?
Don't say I wouldn't have put Declan.
He wouldn't have cracked your top 5. He wouldn't have cracked your top 5. You've got Rodri, you've got Casemiro.
On big YouTube.
You've got Rodri, you've got Casemiro. Look, you've got Rodri, you've got Casemiro, you've got Thomas Partey. He was in everybody's top 5 DMs last season. So that gives you 2 extra spaces.
And I always had Declan Rice in there.
I had Caicedo in there.
Yeah, and you had Bruno G.
No, so who else? Who else would you?
Last year.
Yeah.
So those 3.
You're saying that Declan Rice was
always in there. You know he was, because I was always on the Declan Rice train. And
I don't think that's true, man. Like, I think people are like, yeah, he's nice. But I don't think guys were saying the way he's a top 5er in the league. He's a this, he's a that.
Me and Matt were definitely saying
You're saying he's a nice player. He's got some stuff cooking.
No.
But no one was ever speaking in definitive terms. No one was ever speaking in definitive terms about Declan Rice. No one was.
You whacked a 40 million max price tag.
We still got bumped
on Declan
Rice. No one was speaking in concrete terms.
Declan
like
Rice.
Revisionism and the biasness of like looking back with roasted Sigler. I agree.
Declan
the
Rice
journey has been picturesque.
He was always in my top 5. You, on the other hand, had Mario Lamina over him, Romeo Lavia. You were telling me Arsenal should sign Lavia over Declan Rice.
What I'll say is that
Mark Rocker.
No one has ever said. No one has ever spoke.
That's what you were telling me.
I just want to say that people like. I admit you had stocks in Declan Rice. I'm not saying that you weren't rating him. I'm just saying this time last year, no one was ever speaking in definitive terms about Declan Rice. Everybody was saying maybe he's the next Tom Huddleston. Maybe he's the next Jermaine.
Nobody was saying that.
Maybe
you were saying
if he's lucky.
None of us were saying
if he's lucky enough to go on and make something of himself, no, he could go and sort of be a meaty guy but now that he moved, he got the big move, 100 million price tag, the way he started off the season, his interviews afterwards, Gary Neville, there's a player there. I think Declan Rice is going to be the difference. Now guys are saying, for the last 4 or 5 years, this is who he's been. He hasn't changed Declan Rice has never played an 8 before at the West Ham.
But he scored some goals. He scored some good goals, some big goals for West Ham. Sometimes Souček would drop
against Kitty Bunches in the FA Cup. That was like his only goal last year. Yeah.
Hey, look, he's playing in a better team.
I'm not having that, man. He's playing in a better team. He's a
G
better player. He's playing underneath a better manager. He, as a player, has gone up tenfold. Yeah. No one was ever saying, the new Vieira is Declan Rice. Guys were unsure whether he was a centre back.
I'm pretty sure me and Matt said those exact words.
Revisionist history. This is you looking back at rose-tinted glasses.
Matt, comment down below and let the people know what a fraud Michael's being in this.
Matt, you know yourself. You weren't speaking in definitive terms about that. You're going, he's not. He definitely cracks the top 10. He wasn't guaranteed in everybody's top 5.
I can't believe you did this.
This is the facts.
But he's always been better than Caicedo.
Looking back.
Or, let me tell Arsenal the right move for Arsenal was always to sign Declan Rice.
But come on, this is now like, how can I say no?
Because you were very adamant the right move was Caicedo.
I think Caicedo could still.
Instead of that, not with Declan Rice. Because I know you're going to try and make that point. Instead of Declan Rice.
I think a midfield of Thomas, Caicedo, and Odegaard under Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty. But when Thomas gets injured after 4 games.
Yeah, look, that's the thing about Thomas. No, it's not that no one could have guessed that you would have been injured, but no one could have guessed you would have been injured for this long.
Yeah.
And like, we very much had Thomas at no one, regardless of who we signed, would have removed Thomas from the base of our midfield at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Coming into next season.
Yeah.
So
But Declan Rice, like we said, the midfield was going to be Thomas, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. But look, man, you want to defend that take. You want to tell people that Declan Rice is only worth 40 million. That's up to you.
Caicedo, look at what they're saying about you. That's all I'm saying.
I had Caicedo in my top 10 summer.
Look at what they're saying.
Caicedo, I was the only one to have him in there.
When Poch gets out of there and that murder ball stops, and they finally get a manager.
What
did
you say about Caicedo? The way he gives the ball away,
no, Caicedo is this season. I can't even put a finger.
It's been horror.
It's a nightmare show. But it can't just because everybody's been so diabolical at Chelsea. It can't just be a Caicedo thing.
It's not. I'm not saying. But Declan Rice was always the guy that Arsenal needed.
And I think if De Zerbi had kept Caicedo for this season, and
Caicedo is not scoring winning headers.
No, he's not. And Caicedo had just continued the form that he was on. Caicedo would have been. They would have gassed Caicedo to. It would have been the Kobe versus Caicedo thing. They would have gassed Caicedo to the moon.
Yeah.
You know, Caicedo was doing Kobe things. He was, and then he was in the conversations, and they're saying Kobe.
And neither of them are close to Declan Rice.
Yeah. They're not. No, they're not.
Have you got another one?
No, I don't.
I've got. What have I got here? I've got two more that I can quickly. Nick said, "When are you going to play clubs again?" The answer is never. He wanted me to mention that.
I was there the other time.
yeah. What he means, well, when are we going to play again? But also, again, I had this one written down. Matt came in and said he wanted it to be asked.
Mm.
Well, my statement is Virgil van Dijk's peak was the best we've seen from any centre-back in Premier League history.
And when was this peak? COVID year? COVID football?
No, I would say from when he joined Liverpool till there was last season where he was a bit off it. But other than last season, I would say till now. That has all. But the point I'm making in reference to this, him being his peak, I'd say that from when he joined Liverpool till the ACL.
I think I definitely disagree.
We have never seen a centre-back like that in the Premier League before.
I disagree. I think we've seen quite a few top quality.
Don't throw out a Ferdinand, brother. I don't want to hear that.
I think Rio, JT. I think JT hype. Oh my gosh! I can't
believe you're mentioning a Ferdinand, brother, followed by JT.
I think that Van Dijk slips in somewhere between Ricardo Carvalho. No, I'm joking. Look, Van Dijk, he's a top defender, but I think people just love Van Dijk and they fall in love with like the aura and everything rather than
that
actual ability.
Defense, yeah.
He holds it together, no doubt.
The way Trent's going, the way Roberts.
Yeah, he holds it together.
And arguably the best Liverpool defense in this Jurgen Klopp period. Do you know who Van Dijk's partner was? Joe Gomez.
Good defender. I think Joe Gomez gets. I think Joe Gomez gets a lot of slack.
There is no
unnecessary slack.
Michael,
I think Joe Gomez gets a lot of unnecessary slack.
I know.
Joe Gomez has really proven himself to be something.
There's no player you rate less than Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez has really proven himself to be something of a player.
Joe Gomez is bottom of the barrel.
I think
championship.
I think the thing with Van Dijk is there is always watch. We're gonna, and actually let me not speak too much because we're gonna Saliba-ify we're gonna Van Dijkify Saliba,
and that's why I made the case about Saliba being harder to replace.
They're gonna the thing about Van Dijk is
Saliba's trajectory.
Van Dijk has been very good for the last couple of years, and if you was to ask any media person or I guess everyday football fan to describe their best ever Premier League 11, it will be all from players. Like 90% of the team would have played in the last 5 years. And it's just recency bias. It's just because we haven't seen JT, we haven't seen Rio, we haven't seen any of the top Arsenal defenders play for 15 years.
I don't know if those guys were playing on the halfway line.
If you was to ask a lot of people, best ever Premier League 11, guys would say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put Alisson in there. I'm gonna put Trent. I'm gonna put Van Dijk. I'm gonna put Robertson. I might maybe put Vincent Kompany." You know, like it's all gonna be people from the last 5-10 years, and that's just because that's what football is. It's like, yo, what have you done for me lately? Van Dijk for the last 5-10 years in the Premier League, well, for the last 5 years in the Premier League, has been
the best centre back in the league.
Has been one or two of the best centre backs.
He's been the best.
He's had to fight it out with Laporte and Thiago Silva and a couple other top guys. But it's because he's been one of the best for the last 5 years that
he's been the best.
There's the whole thing of like, I think Van Dijk has been a top centre back. Yeah. But he's done nothing compared to the guys like JT. You want to talk about winning trophies and legacies and X, Y, and Z?
Yo,
JT, Rio, 100%. The guys have got 5-6 Prems,
and that's why,
2 Champions Leagues.
That's why I'm not saying that Van Dijk is the best centre back to ever play in the Premier League. I think in that argument, Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, Jaap Stam, those guys can all be ahead of him. But my statement is, at their peak, Virgil van Dijk's the best.
And you know what's funny? I actually think Van Dijk at his peak played in some of the worst Premier League years, quality-wise, top to bottom.
Well, I mean, he's playing now and locking up guys like Haaland, who's one of the best strikers the Premier League's ever seen. But
where does Haaland rank really in your top 5 strikers in the Premier League has ever seen?
Haaland's...
He's not in mine.
Well, he scored the most goals in a Premier League season.
Incredible achievement.
So
I'm not putting him ahead of Aguero.
But look, we're not
Rooney.
Look, we're not gonna agree on this one. But that list of strikers leads me on nicely to the last one that I'm gonna say. And you might have noticed that I've been sending you a lot of Didier Drogba agenda stuff on Twitter recently, and that was in preparation for this podcast. I just needed to sow the seed.
I've already got the counter to
and
this.
Let you know. Didier Drogba is not a top 10 all-time Premier League striker.
He is.
He's not.
He is.
He is not. And I will tell... and look, we've seen the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We know what Drogba was on. 6 goals in a season, 5 goals in a season, and half good season.
No, his numbers, they're scary.
Right? We know. But I'll list you strikers that are categorically better Premier League strikers than Didier Drogba.
Sure.
Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, Andy Cole, Sergio Aguero, Wayne Rooney, Eric Cantona, Dennis Bergkamp, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
So some of these are... okay, wait. Some of these are strikers.
Dennis Bergkamp played in a 4-4-2.
No, but like... I can only compare Drogba to number 9s. I can't compare Drogba to Bergkamp. I can't compare Drogba to Cantona.
But Bergkamp played in a 4-4-2.
But he wasn't a number 9. I can't compare Drogba to...
You know, he played as a striker.
I can't compare him to these like pseudo 9-10s.
You want to leave Bergkamp out of there?
And Cantona.
No.
Cantona was not a number 9.
Cantona in the Prem, he was basically
no. Cantona was not number 9.
Cantona, Bergkamp, I'll let you have, but you're not having Cantona. Ruud van Nistelrooy,
yeah,
Robin van Persie, Jamie Vardy, Erling Haaland, Luis Suarez, Darren Bent, Dion Dublin, and Peter Crouch.
So I actually think that Drogba is better than Peter Crouch, Dion Dublin, obviously.
They all have more goals than
I think he's better than Jamie Vardy.
They all have more Premier League
goals. And I actually think, as of now, he's still better than Erling Haaland.
I don't and that would still put him 11th?
8th. Because we've already taken out Cantona.
No,
Cantona's and we've already taken out Bergkamp. So there's at least 5 names in there already.
There's Henry, Shearer, Andy Cole, Aguero, Rooney, Cantona,
5.
Robin van Persie.
So those first 5,
Van Nistelrooy,
Robin van Persie, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
You're not telling me Didier Drogba's a better striker than Robin van Persie. There's absolutely
no. I agree. So the first 5 that you mentioned, Robin van Persie, Ruud van Nistelrooy, calm. I agree with. Yeah. So that means
So that's up to what, 7 or 8?
So that means he slips in. That means he
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then Erling Haaland. Yep.
The reason
Suarez.
The reason I think this Drogba point is interesting is because
and a lot of people are gonna think I'm hating on Didier Drogba. The Premier League has some elite
but
strikers.
you came on here, you asked questions. You asked questions about Harry Kane. You question his world class legacy. Drogba is the opposite of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So in your book,
I didn't say Harry Kane's name.
No. But I'm just saying, if you're asking a guy to potentially not score 30 goals, but turn up when it mattered to win you the trophies.
Yeah.
Drogba he's won more trophies than Rude. He's won more trophies than a lot of the guys that you've mentioned in this list.
Yeah.
And he not single-handedly has won those trophies, but he turned up when it was time to be counted for. He turned up.
And then he would take 3 seasons off.
But he would turn up for the finals, turn up for the semi-finals.
Yeah.
I think Erling Haaland...
Does that make him better than Thierry Henry?
No, but Drogba's never in a conversation with Thierry Henry.
Well,
never.
Some people.
Never. But look, Erling Haaland has done a lot of incredible things. But Erling Haaland...
Treble winner.
He never scored in the finals.
Champions League in his first season.
He never scored in any of the finals. They still throw that. He scored
enough Champions League goals.
It's calm if you're beating Leeds. If you put 4 past Leeds.
Are we going to Erling Haaland, who won the treble in his first season?
It's not about you. You have spoken specifically.
We want to talk trophies.
No, you've spoken specifically. You've spoken in relation to strikers specifically about winning and their goals meaning something. Yeah, if Drogba scored 6
Erling
goals,
Haaland scored 36 and won the league.
But if Drogba scored 6 goals, and 2, 3 of them were in finals, crunch time, make it 1-1, make it 2-1. Isn't that what your striker's getting paid the money for?
My striker's getting paid to score 36 league goals and win the league.
And of the people that do that, that's TT, that's Aguero,
Erling Haaland.
That is Erling Haaland, and he's done it. He's done it for 1 season. But as we said, when it came down to the actual winning of the trophies, somebody else was getting the job done.
Not in the Premier League.
Someone else was getting the job done. That's what I'm saying.
He scored 36 league goals.
That's not to take away from him. If Erling Haaland wins,
I could have put Diego Costa on this.
If Erling Haaland wins another treble, then calm. His legacy surpasses Drogba already in the 2 years that he's done. But for the semi-finals, for the finals that we've seen Drogba go to and win and participate in, the Champions League moment, all that kind of stuff. I don't have him there in the Premier League era. I don't have him there yet. And as I said, for you who's come in here and said it's about winning trophies and what's your legacy saying, and it's very tough to beat. The goal record, you can beat Drogba. Walcott probably has more goals than Drogba. But legacy, when it comes to turning up, when the team need him the most, he's definitely top 10 in the Premier League for that.
But what I'll say to that is that was my point about a striker being world class. My statement isn't Didier Drogba was never world class, because that would be wrong. He did score in big games. He scored in every final he played in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
World class.
Yeah, 100.
Just doesn't make the top 10.
I think it makes the top 10 ahead of... You have guys that aren't even a number 9. I can only compare Drogba to, especially the era of football he's playing in. Cantona was not a number 9. Cantona was not a number 9.
Basically a number
9. No. And the people like Crouch and Defoe was nice.
Dublin, Darren Bent, all scored more Premier League goals.
That was nice. But
got more Premier League goals.
But they've not done anything.
Yeah. So maybe you could take those off, but they've all got more Premier League goals.
They've not done anything.
I have to put them on this list.
Drogba, as I said, I'm not even a Chelsea fan, but I'll back your corner. They'll never make me hate you. That's what I say about Didi, unfortunately.
But it's not about hate. Top striker.
And Erling Haaland, guys,
of good Premier League
with VVD
strikers.
and Erling Haaland so soon. Let Erling Haaland at least, maybe not even finish his career. Let Erling Haaland finish at least 2 seasons in the Prem before we actually concrete put him in the all-timer conversations.
I can't agree with that, because if Arsenal win the league, Kai Havertz is in this.
No.
Kai Havertz is easily top 10.
But Kai Havertz has done more than 1 season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. He's completed more than 1 full season in the Premier League.
It's not been... Well, actually, he did win the Champions League, but
Erling
Haaland won the treble in 1 season.
It's done big things.
And Didier Drogba never did that.
But scored in every final.
But he never won the treble.
they still get onto TT for not scoring in finals.
Yeah.
You can't say that. You can score as many. You can score 50, 60, 70 goals. Fans
But no one will
these
tell
days,
you Didier's better than TT.
fans these days, Didier Drogba, yeah, if he was playing today, yeah, I know they crucify him for his goal record, but he would be one of the most loved players for his final record.
Yeah. By Chelsea fans who overrate him.
By football fans. If he was even just trying to talk about Costa, there's no Chelsea fan or football fan that would put Costa ahead of Drogba. And Costa was cold.
Costa scored in finals.
Costa was cold. Costa was cold. But Costa
didn't really have seasons.
Costa was
he scored 4 goals.
He was looking at the play-by-play.
That was never really Costa's game.
You know, he was looking at, and who was behind Costa? Cesc Fabregas. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle.
One of the goats.
It all comes full circle.
One of the goats. But look, that has been our debates episode.
Yeah.
I've got one last one written here. Power Book 2 is the best Power spin-off.
Yeah. It's more interesting than the rest of them.
I thought you would argue against that.
But I think Force, really, that last season.
Yeah.
Actually,
Raising Kanan?
I don't know. Because
you know how much I love Book 2.
Power Book 2, like
Zeke.
I'm happy in a weird way. I'm happy that they're ending it because I could tell they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, the season finale of the last one.
It's not even, as I said, to be the midway through the season when Tariq was some sort of espionage spy going to Italy with the man
RSJ.
Yeah, the RSJ thing. Going to Italy with the man them stealing.
Heists.
Yeah. I was like, you are just a uni student. And then he was coming back, was just murking guys like nothing, sitting in restaurants. Yeah, having dinners with Effie, leaving restaurants, murking guys. Like they were just running out of ideas. You know, Tasha came back. Tommy was there for a second. They had a little altercation. Tariq was knocked out. Like, what are we doing? So much is happening. But it's been still, despite all of that, by far the most interesting. Not the most interesting, but like, it has all my favorite characters. I told you I love the dad, I can't even remember his name now. Lorenzo. Yeah. Loved what Lorenzo brought. Loved what Kane brought.
Yeah.
Loved loved the stable of girls that Tariq was messing with throughout the show. Yeah. You know. So in that sense, yes. But
little guap.
For season 2, you did something. You moved the needle. For season 2.
I thought you'd say Raising Kanan. No, you've seen the most recent season as well.
I have, but you know what, Raising Kanan, it's a funny one because I really like season 2 of Raising Kanan, but season 1 I didn't know if I was gonna get through it, and season 3 I still haven't finished it. Like I've watched the first couple of episodes, and the first 7 episodes, and maybe it's because it's not on streaming platforms, but I'm not like,
it's not gripping you.
It's not like, it's good, but it's not like Tariq, I couldn't put it down if I'd have to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like when
look, to me it just has the best characters.
When and spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it or whatever, but when Kane figures out that Lorenzo killed Zeke, and now Lorenzo's in Kane's pocket,
and Kane's just treating him like shit.
And Drew and those guys are like, Lorenzo never used to listen to fucking Kane, and now Kane's telling Lorenzo to answer the door and make dinner. I just don't know if you can beat that.
Oh man, it's good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. If you did, let us know. We might try and do another one of these. I did have some ones written here that I didn't say. I might tell Michael some of these off air because they are a bit mad.
We'll see.
But look, thank you guys for listening. Hope you appreciate the episode. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, follow us, and we will be back next week. Peace.